wasn't untold. But ain't none of those things gonna set you free. Gotta have Jesus, He's all that you need. I'd rather have Jesus, rather have Jesus. Yes, I will, yes, I will. So I'd rather have Jesus, I'd rather have Jesus. Yes, I will, oh, yes, I will. He's all I need, He's all I need. Yes, He is, oh, yes, He is. I said I'd rather have Jesus, rather have Jesus. Yes, I will, oh, yes, I will. Listen to this. How many of you feel like the feel? I ain't pointing no finger, I'm just trying to keep it real. You spend all of your money trying to please your friends, but ain't none of those things are gonna matter in the end. I bet some of y'all rather have silver and gold. I bet some of y'all would take
Hello, everybody.
wasn't untold.
Do right, coming back at you. One more game. Try to put down that real topic and bring some edification to some things for some people. And just put a little more information out there so we can shake up the academic world and get some of our people to think in a little bit and really show the people how the academic world been lying. Cause do right, get the information from the ancestors. The ancestors tell him what book to look in, what book to read. A lot of times, do right say some stuff, and he don't have no proof or no evidence of it. But then the ancestors provide the proof. It'll drop it out online for him. But on the day, last couple series, we kind of dealt with the Yamasee Indians and the Seminole Indians, and the last one we did was called Oconee Indian. That might have been a wrong title. We should have might have titled it something else. But in those three series, if you watch them, that's about 16 videos, almost 20 minutes apart. It's a lot of great information in them. So those who seen this part and ain't seen them probably need to go back and look at those videos, because a lot of great information that the ancestors be bringing. And do right just a vessel to let the ancestors, that come into them and put out the information they're trying to get out there for the people. Because this is your information. This is not do right information. This is information from you and everybody that be under the sound of do right voice. You agreed to come back and get this information at this time. In another life or some whatever you want to call it. Before you were born, you decided who you pick your parent and what bloodline you want to come back to. But ultimately, you decided and you agreed that at this day and time that you were going to come back and get this information. And that's why some of y'all are so attracted to the message that the do-right have, because you are a do-right sheep. You was designed to come back at this time and get this particular information. So with those last three series, we put down a lot of information. We showed a lot of great things in them things and put down some real heavy stuff that really will make your DNA start to explode once once you can get rid of past the messenger and stop looking at the messenger and listen to the message. See, some of us can't hear because the information ain't coming from the source that we thought we were going to get it from. Maybe the messenger ain't pretty like you want them. Messenger ain't got all his teeth and pronounce all them fancy words and all that other stuff like that. But the information do right putting out, he putting out because he love the people. So he let his life be a willing sacrifice, and he sacrificed himself and sometimes get drained because the ancestors come in and they talk to him. And so he decided he gonna give himself for the people. And he the people preacher. That's what do right here. He the people preacher. He ain't them other preachers. He ain't got nothing in common with them other preachers. Oh yeah, do right, I gotta tell y'all. Do right now is an ordained minister, y'all. Because he got some more information that's gonna be coming out, because do right gonna tell you church ain't what you think church is. The other preacher ain't gonna tell you. So do right gonna expose the fraud, so then you can start asking them for yourself. And you can start questioning them about different things. And see if they're gonna be straight up and be honest with you. Because do right gonna get it to you right up front. Where you can take it to paper right there and put it in front of their face. He's gonna show you where you can find the information at. And everything he gonna explain to you really what church is. Because church ain't what y'all think church is. So Do-Right can legally talk about that now. Because he ordained. Do-Right's an ordained preacher. Do-Right can marry you and do your funeral for you now. Because he ordained. So, you need somebody to tell the truth at the funeral. Then you need to come get the Do-Right. Y'all having a family and a friend day. And y'all need a preacher. Y'all need to let Do-Right come in there and cuss out your family and your damn friend. Because he's going to tell everybody the truth, whether they like it or what they don't like, whether they like it, whether they don't like it. Either way, it's all good. I mean, if they like it, it's good. If they don't like it, it's good too. Because Do-Right even cuss out the family and friends and his own damn family. It's just what it is. I mean, either you're going to get with this or you're going to get with that. So, the choice is on you. But the day two signs being set before you, you can't straddle the fence no more. But anyway, Do-Right posted a link up on the line the other day about the Obama administration saying that the black folk, or the folk we've been taught to call black folk, are also Cherokee. So open up the doorway for these people that been labeled and called black to become, not to become, because you already won. You just don't know. You already won. But it opened up the status. It opened up where you can claim the status of being a Cherokee Indian. And so then, but that opened up the door so that these people that we call black people can claim being Cherokee. Then, in one of the groups or pages that Do-Right be on, question was asked about why do it seem like our white, for lack of a better word, our white brothers and sisters seem to have a problem with so-called black folk not being able, because of that ruling, to claim that they Cherokee or claim the status of being an Indian. And Do-Right gonna try to tackle that question. It ain't a direct quote on the question, but it close on it. And so Do-Right, you gotta say a question like that, or paragraph answer, is really not enough, because there's a lot of variables that goes on into that. So there's a lot of things that tied up in that to call the action. So do right, trying to search for where he gonna tackle this question at what angle. But now do right, remember in one of the other series talking about how the Seminole Indian was a confederation of a group of other Indians and also runaway slaves. And some of those slaves, a lot of those slaves who ran away from the colonists, all of them were what we call black. It was a lot of so-called white slaves that ran away. Most of the people who come here from that were brought here as slaves, most of these people were what we call white people today. They were the white slaves of Europe. They called them peasants and some other few other names, but they were the low class people from Europe. And a lot of them came over as indentured servants. A lot of them was in the criminal justice system over in the Europe, because we had no word for jail. We had no word for a criminal. We didn't have a criminal justice system. We had no prison. But they had those prisons and stuff on the other continent, with the China and the India and the Africa and the Europe and that continent there, because that's one big continent. They got the concept of jail. We had no concept of ownership. Nobody owned the land. But they had the concept of ownership. But so a lot of those slaves were what we call white people. Now, you don't have to believe Do-Right, because Do-Right gonna give you some resources. You can go on Google books, type in white slaves, and then on the left hand side down it, click on free books. You ain't got to buy no whole bunch of damn books. Anything you want to know already written in a book somewhere. And these folks that writing these books today ain't doing nothing but trying to pimp you out your money, because they could have just led you to the source where they read it from. Just that simple. Especially with the day and the technology that's out there today. So a lot of these slaves ran away and they mixed in with us. Well, now at first we would get them land and let them into our tribe, into our system of government, and teach them our way, and teach them how we do things. But we didn't so much mix our blood with them, especially the so-called white ones. We let them bred in among themselves. It was some mixing, but because they men mixed in more with our women than it was our men mixing in with their women. Because most of those who came enslaved, most of them was a bunch of men. And it was even most of the slave owners were a bunch of men. Most of them ships had a bunch of men on them. And so we didn't mix our blood with them as much, although we let them into our tribe, plural. Or it better be yet to say our nation. We just had nation states. We had one nation and we had different states. So when they try to tell you a tribe, they're really talking about a state that go along with the nation, just like you got 50 states in the United States to make up the nation. Well, we had different states and different organizations of people, if you will. So a lot of these runaways start mixing in with us. A lot of times they men would mix in with our women, either because we had so many women. Just like today, black women outnumber black men 10-1. So we had a bunch of women, so they seemed like they were gonna do right. And so they started mixing in with our women and we started changing colors. So but then what happened was that the slave owners started capturing and kidnapping those children. And they would teach those children the English, the Spanish, or whatever the slave master was. And they would give them children that religion, whichever the slave master was. Whether they was Islamic, because folks over here that did the Islam, they brought the Islam over here and tried to enslave the people. Just like they brought the Christianity over here and tried to enslave the people. Now I know some brothers out there that's into the Islam gonna get a little mad and a little pissed off with kids. But they just gonna get mad and they just gonna get pissed off. But you already know what he's talking about.